The homeless are getting worse. Oh. It's a bunch of running around for no goddamn reason. Without a friend or family member to go through this with me, it doesn't make any difference. And that's what all of you fucking selfish pieces of shit don't get. You come to my channel for entertainment. Why? Do you not understand how disgusting that is? How sick and disturbed that is? You can't do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I might see Chris while I'm in town. I might not. We'll see. Scott was talking this morning about being homeless and kids throwing fireworks at him. There's been a couple of times when people wanted to throw rocks after a BLM rally. I had a sit-in once with BLM in Boulder. Alright, twice. The first time, some of them kids was throwing rocks at me afterwards. Well, the second time, I got up in the middle of it and left. I was told, hey, you know, BLM, they're inclusive too. They see homeless people as people too. The guy's name was Pierre who was telling me that. He said, you should show up. We're going to lay down in the middle of Pearl Street. Yeah, sure, I could do that. Of course, when I showed up, it was a bunch of bigotry. The we don't need your kind stuff. Pierre was fine. Cleanly shaven baby face, red hair. He was accepted. But no, there was 3 hobos there. 2 males and 1 female, and none of them were accepted. What are you people doing here? Holy shit. Imagine if I said that to black people or women. If I said, what are you people doing here? Especially in that tone. So Scott talking about having fireworks thrown at him. You know, when I was homeless, I had people throw fireworks at me too. Not while I was sleeping. They threw rocks at me while I was sleeping. I started sleeping with my sleeping bag open. That way, when somebody started kicking me again, at least I'd be able to reach out and hook their foot and bring them down to the ground. I did that twice. I continue that habit to this day. If you're in a sleeping bag and you've got it zipped up, all somebody's got to do is mount up on you and you're stuck. The best you can do is try to grab a hold of something and pinch. If you're lucky enough to get a hold of something through the bag, and those bags aren't easy to grab stuff through, your fingers slide. It's 2 layers of fabric with cotton in between. And that cotton batting, it doesn't allow you to get a hold of much, doesn't allow you much grip. So basically, it's just somebody heavy on top of you pounding you in the face. And sometimes you get lucky and they hit you in the sleeping bag instead. But sometimes on the other side of that sleeping bag is your fucking face. When people mount up on you, they mount up for headshots. Those guys throwing rocks at me after the BLM thing. That was the first time. And you know, I didn't go there for problems. I went there to be supportive. Me, being of the 3 most marginalized groups, well, actually 4 of the 5 top. That's right, the top 5. As far as adults go, I fit in the top 5. As far as children, well, they're always number 1. Children will always be victimized more than anyone else because they're small. It's easy to just blow them off and shrug them off. Without local support, I just end up taking abuse. And many of these people don't see what they did as abusive, but they also aren't willing to see or hear what it's cost me. We've taught women especially to be like this, that there are no consequences for their actions, that anything that they do is a man's fault. Always a man's fault. She is not to be held responsible for her own actions. A man is to be held responsible for his actions and hers. Just like a white man is supposedly responsible for every wrong thing that's ever happened to a black person. I don't subscribe to that. It's BS. I don't have to agree with every white person out there. I don't have to agree with every black person out there. And since not every black person or every white person are the same, the one thing you're going to have to accept is that there are going to be people in this world who think differently than you. But thinking differently than you doesn't mean that justice should be ignored. It doesn't mean that a victim who is poor should be ignored. However, the more poor the victim is, the more likely they are to be ignored, brushed off, blown off, or told that it's their fault that it happened, that they had chosen it. Who chooses to be victimized? Show of hands real quick, right? Unless you're into S&M, and I ain't judging, it just ain't for me. You guys being into S&M, that's not my business, not my journey. When it comes to people being abused, consenting to abuse, no, I did not consent to being abused. I didn't have a choice in the matter. It's not like somebody who is dorky chooses to walk alone and get beaten up 3 or 5 on 1. It's not that that's a chosen thing. It's that that happens often in life. And a lot of people say, that's not fair, that's not fair. And then later on, they want to tell me, oh, life's not fair, life's not fair. God, how quickly you change your tune and change the rules when it's you. I told the truth about people. They didn't like it, and still don't. They wanted to pretend to me like this will all just blow over if they ignore it. And it doesn't blow over. It doesn't blow over at all, ever. Either you speak up or your friend goes through hell for the rest of his life. Which one did you people choose? Obviously, we're not friends. Where the hell is my damn lighter? Didn't have it. There it is. There's a lot of stuff that I would be able to do if I had a place to do it, but everywhere I go, it's illegal to exist. And meanwhile, the American public wants to have this illusion that it's not illegal to be homeless. Well, it certainly is. You got to see how I had to try to turn in all the different services in to other services here that are obviously friends with these other services. Literally stating that they are friends with these people at these different services. So I try to turn in TFCC and CARE, and I'm sent to CARE and TFCC because one of these other services has a friend at one of those places, and they'll make a recommendation. But that never goes through, does it? Of course it doesn't. I gotta rely on meth heads, drug addicts, and people with severe mental problems. That's who I have to hopefully rely on. Obviously, it doesn't matter how good a person I am. What matters is that I'm a male and I'm white, so I must have chosen this. The number of people in this town who have taken part in hate crimes against me is fucking horrible. The fact that so many people are okay with it. Shrug it off, blow it off. Start talking about them, making it about them. Being selfish and greedy. Oh. Alright. Oh.
Do you need a smoke?
I wasn't gonna ask for one. I was gonna be nice and let you guys finish yours. Back in my car.
I'll grab you one.
Yeah, I was looking up the when I was telling you about the other people that are getting fireworks thrown at them and stuff. One of them was right after a BLM rally. The reason I brought that one up is because it was an artillery shell they threw at him.
Right. Dangerous shit.
Yeah. I've had people pelt me with rocks and kick me while I'm sleeping, but never throw an actual firework.
When I was
at me while
homeless, I
I'm
actually
sleeping.
had a couple of kids come in while I was sleeping, and I think what it was newspaper. They set newspaper on fire right next to my head. I woke up, and they were just leaving this area that I was at. Nope, wasn't gonna happen. I flipped out on them. And they both started trying to fight me, and I picked up a beer bottle, hit one of them over the head. No. No, I picked up a beer bottle, and he got it from me, and he hit me over the head.
Okay, people are people. I don't care if you're homeless or not. You're a person.
Yeah?
That's the way I look at it, but most people don't. Or they say so in concept, and they don't think of the reality of having to sleep out here, or how easy you are to victimize when you're by yourself. Or how easy it is to
Well, you're
lock it away in a
vulnerable
house.
when you're homeless.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about being disabled also, is that I'm not only vulnerable, but they get to call me mentally ill whenever they want and pretend I'm schizophrenic. But all the situations that I'm in, I mean, there's real people there that are witnesses to it. So I mean, it's not like it's a figment of my imagination.
Okay, so I've been called schizophrenic.
Even if you were schizophrenic, it'd still be illegal to do that stuff to somebody.
I kind of like the loony bin. The loony bin is interesting.
What is it?
The loony bin.
Oh,
The funny farm.
Okay, until they put you in the white room.
padded room?
Haldol and Ativan. It makes 8% of people who are injected with it go instantly schizophrenic and stay that way. 30% of the people who that happens to end up having schizophrenic traits for 2 to 3 weeks. And 70% of them have schizophrenic traits for 2 to 3 days afterwards.
If you never told me I was crazy, would I think I'm crazy?
I hope so.
No, I think not. If no one ever told me I was crazy, I wouldn't think I was crazy.
Well, I don't think you're crazy, but I do think people are crazy.
Till
That's
they
just
are.
because they are. Yeah.
Well, the loony bin was a eye opener.
Okay, what do I need to do?
You need to relax because you're here.
Well, I've been dealing with a lot of hate crimes in this town from people that don't like hobos. Thing is, it's mostly the police and law enforcement and the services they send us to.
Right.
And then we end up going around in circles. They're all making a profit off of the Medicare and the Medicaid, but nothing's happening. We're all still out here on the streets. They're making a profit. And all my money from my disability goes to keeping my car gassed up so I can run around to all the appointments to get nothing. And they're like, don't you get disability money? Yeah, I spend
Yeah,
it all
but
going
it-
in circles.
So, they diagnosed me with borderline personality disorder. And I was like, well, back in the day, that was multiple personalities.
It's actually PTSD related, they're saying
is.
now. So I mean, it
And OCD.
just when you're in a state of height of awareness. Yep.
I have frustrated Okay, and this time when I made it, I put a little bit of right, so it's gonna be a little bit juicier, like that.
When I was younger, things weren't so bad because having Tourette syndrome denoted that you had Tourette syndrome as a kid. Then when you become an adult and everybody's a tweaker, you got, you do this with your eyes or this with your wrist, people
Then
just
you're a
assume,
tweaker.
yeah.
Okay, so the physical,
It is.
not the verbal.
I do have the verbal thing, but only 30% of Tourette syndrome cases have the verbal tics, and only 5% of those have the part where they curse. So if I curse, it's intentional.
That's, my brother-in-law is next. So, has the verbal. He's fun to hear in.
They found out I have Tourette syndrome because I went, whenever my brother wanted to win an argument that he was losing, he'd do that. And then
Well, I
it'd make me
think
do it.
outside of Tourette's, like, there's tics, like, I have a tic, I fix the face, and I don't know I'm doing
Yep.
it, it's because it's tic.
It's also considered an autistic trait, although I noticed that almost all of the negative autistic traits aren't autistic traits. They're traits of post-traumatic stress disorder. It's somebody who's experienced trauma.
You want your receipt?
Sure, it will tell me how much I got left. Oh my God. Good morning.
There it is, right there.
All right. That's enough to survive the month on as long as I get the basics.
Yeah, as soon as I started my other job, I don't get it.
Oh. You're loud. Oh my, you. Fucking chilly. Boy. Probably have to head back up the mountain here shortly. Got lots of stuff to do, but not enough time to do it. I'm in a shit ton of pain. Gentleman came by, helped me a lot at camp last night. Well, yesterday. I should say it was still light out while he was there. I really needed the help, and he really came through. I don't know who he was. Well, he told me his name. I'm just fucking horrible with names. Anyway, he showed me a better spot by where I'm camping. Told me it was his old spot, which is pretty cool. Got almost all of my stuff moved back there, which is definitely helpful. The problem is it's still illegal. So you guys are fine with this stuff happening to the homeless, with no regard for the fact that you're, well, already 3 paychecks behind on your rent. So, yeah, passing judgment on people like your shit just don't stink is just not cool. Your shit does stink. If it wasn't for your credit, you wouldn't have shit. But it's easy to destroy somebody's credit or their chances of getting unhomeless when they're homeless. They have no fucking rights. We have no rights. Why can't you stop to consider us people? When we're harmed, why do you tell us just to let it go, let it go, let it go every time like fucking clockwork? You don't care what kind of harm we go through. You just want us to shut up. It's not a matter of being friends, it's a matter of popularity. And that hurts. It for surely does hurt. Also, I heard something at camp last night. Sounded like it was bipedal, so a person. But it could have just been something walking slowly. I know that there's quite a few deer up there and quite a few elk. I've been told that this time of year they can get pretty violent. And they don't mind charging through a camp just to piss you off. I gotta stick around in town. I have 2 of that camp stove thing, the one that runs on whatever type of alcohol it is, denatured. The second one that I have, it didn't melt, it just crispy crittered it and made it warp out of shape quite a bit so that it's pushing fumes out one side real heavy. Basically, in one side it has a little flame like it's supposed to, and on the other side it has like a 4-inch tall jet of flame. So I'm gonna have to get the denatured alcohol and use that for cooking. Meanwhile, I can't really take care of myself up there at camp. And I can't afford to keep going up there to camp. Alright, it is this. Trying to figure out what that humming sound was. It's this. Anyway, I used it last night because I heard a sound I couldn't identify. It sounded like it was walking slowly, and after I pressed that a time or two, whatever it was stopped. Of course, it could have been just the wind shaking a branch rhythmically. Just a little bit. Who knows? Might have been a bunny rabbit. I heard something out there scratching itself this morning. Something small, like the sound that a dog makes when it's scratching its ear, or a cat, or a bunny rabbit. If I was to guess, I'd say it was probably a bunny rabbit. And it was probably, I don't know, within 20, 25 yards of my camp. Anyway, the guy did have a good camp spot picked out. He showed me that there's the trees on the back side of it are too close together for a bear to get through. The bear would have to push the tree over, not that they're not willing to, they totally are. But it's kind of a bottleneck, so there's only one way in and one way out. And that makes it so that if a bear does try to get into the place, he's only got one way that he can get in. And that allows me to set up some sort of defensive barrier there. But any defensive barrier that I might put up, I'd have to take down while I'm not there, just for safety reasons. It could be a bear that shows up, it could be somebody's dog, it could be their kid. And as far as defensive measures go, sure, I don't make stuff that's gonna harm or kill anybody, just deterrent. But that doesn't mean that, life won't happen. If somebody's kid gets in there and starts messing around and gets stuck, that's not cool. So, I'm working on camp a little bit. Thank goodness it was somebody else who helped me carry the stuff in there, because I never would have been able to do that by myself. Anyway, I'm going to end this video and find out what time the lumberyard opens.